Time is an illusion. Fear is an illusion.
Fear is contagious, but so is being delulu. So which one do you want to catch? If you had the choice, which one do you want to catch? Because I would rather be around somebody who's fully contagious with this delusional mindset versus potentially sitting and watching the news with somebody and then walking away with this fear mentality for the rest of my day. Like, I don't want that energy. You get to choose which one do you want. If you have to catch one of them, which would you choose?
Welcome to Next Level You podcast. I'm Stefanie Dingbaum, your host, your biggest cheerleader, and your go-to girlfriend for real, raw, and uplifting conversations about leveling up in life. As a mental health therapist with over a decade of experience and a business coach helping women elevate their lives and businesses, I'm here to guide you through the mindset shifts, holistic practices, and manifestation tools you need to step into your most authentic, next level self. Whether you're here to ignite your personal growth, elevate your professional game, or simply rediscover you, this podcast is your invitation to dream bigger, go after your goals, and unapologetically claim the life you deserve. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. It's time to up-level, manifest, and glow.
Welcome back, beautiful souls. This is Next Level You podcast with Stefanie Dingbaum. I have a very special guest with me today. I recently met Mary Hope of Mary Hope Fitness. She is a transformation coach. I met her through a recent networking call that I was a part of, led by Nico. I always butcher his last name, Mary. Is it a Rapkiles? No. Okay. Yep. So he owns and runs Vision Espresso, which is just this amazing subconscious reprogramming app that I got lucky enough to be a part of. And so I hopped on one of his networking calls as a part of his community, met Mary through that first networking call I was a part of. And as she was introducing herself, I just got this download that she would be such an aligned guest for the podcast. And she was speaking about the work that she does. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my audience would just eat this up. She could speak to my ideal audience perfectly. And so I immediately in that call let her know that I'd like to have her on. And here we are today. So Mary, thank you for gracing us with your presence today. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Stephanie. And I love how you said presence because that's my intention for today.
Ooh, good.
So good. Well, I'm Mary Hope. I'm a transformation coach. I specialize in nervous system regulation, and I'm the owner of the Spirit-Led Way. So I help women, entrepreneurs, CEOs, business owners, high capacity women regulate their nervous system so they can actually live and lead from alignment. And the true work behind the Spirit-Led Way is not just another system of breathwork and meditation, one-on-one sessions. It's the new way of nervous system regulation. It is the new way of operation. It is the way that you're meant to live for the rest of your life. So I'm just obsessed with the work that I do because I embody it.
I love that. You do embody it from everything from your reels that you post. I mean, you just truly do embody regulation at its core. And you definitely give off this energy of calm, peace, at ease. How would you, so yes, you focus on nervous system regulation. What does that transformation ultimately look like? So what your ideal clients that come to you, I assume, are functioning from a place of hustle or whatever the opposite of flow would be, and paint us a picture of what that transformation looks like for them.
Yeah. So most of the women that come to me, I love the high capacity woman because we carry so much. Some of us are, we have hundreds of clients, or we're traveling the world. We've got events, or we have children or spouses. And so we're all versatile, and we are meant to operate in a way that we can actually carry out the mission that we're here to serve. So the women that come in and work with me, they are so driven and so strong and so capable. And oftentimes there's that one thing that they don't realize, that it's not about working on themselves. It's more about that expansion of their capacity to be able to receive and serve at a higher level, to be able to do the things that they want to do, because they come to me and they didn't realize there's these patterns that have been holding them back, or there's things that they've noticed of the dysregulation. They've just pushed it off because of them being the caretaker, or them doing the business. And, oftentimes too, us as businesswomen, we know how to run the business. And of
Yeah.
course, I get it because I've lived that. And it's really such a beautiful transformation because the very first moment that you work with me, we do a time audit. So it's a nervous system cleansing and clearing day that will
Love
get
it.
you not just with your schedule, but it's like when you have all those tabs open on your computer where you
Yeah.
see, okay, what are all these open tabs that have been running through your nervous system that we just don't need anymore? Because everyone knows that when you're calling in something new and when you're ready to step into that next version of yourself, something else has to go. And it's the same exact way with our nervous system. So, really allowing you to clear away what you no longer need and focus in so that the rest of the journey and the rest of the transformation is not just trying to carve out time, right? It's just showing up once a week, working with me one on one, and allowing you to take that practice with you and become the embodiment. So, transformation is truly all about the ripple effect of the embodiment.
I love that. I love the word embodiment. It's just such an empowering word. And it's a word that I feel like from day one of my entrepreneurial journey, it's like, I want to embody that CEO version of me. And what does she look like? And, down to like every little detail, like what is she wearing? How does she walk into a room? What energy, what vibes does she give off? And so that word to me is such a powerful word. And I think for the specific population that you work with, we're all trying to embody that specific picture that we have in our head. But I often think that what we are missing is exactly what you're here talking about today is that nervous system regulation piece. Because if you came from any kind of a corporate job or just any traditional like 9 to 5, you probably haven't really been functioning from a state of flow or a state of peace or ease or anything like that for probably a long time. So to find that now, you're right. It's not just like, oh, I'll do a breathwork session or, oh, I'll just meditate. Like there's so much more to it than that. Those tools do help, but there's so much more than just that. And it sounds like you really incorporate that into your program with clients.
Yes, I'm going to reflect back that to you. I know that you are also a multi-passionate woman. I
Yeah.
don't even actually know your full story, but I can tell that you've been in it. You've have a lot of experience, and I think that that's where it comes from. Is it's all the things that we were trained for at childhood, and everything that of how we worked. Exactly for me, I got a job at 16, and I've always been working since high school, clocking in and
Yep.
doing all these different careers and different
Agreed.
things that I was doing. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that. It's just a matter of wow, we've been trained wrong. We've been living
Yeah.
wrong. This is the new way of operation because this is the things that we're now stepping into where we're realizing, wow, we're not meant to go to happy hour just to drink and dysregulate our nervous system. What is
Mhm.
happy hour for us instead of disassociating? How can we reconnect? How can we
Yes.
why do we need a break after work or the breaks in between our client sessions? Can they be more connection hours? Can they be more intentional? Can they be more about connecting in every single way? And that's when we open up our heart space and that's when everything else flows. And of course, there are challenges and there are things, but where can we learn and allow ourselves to actually let our nervous system expand so we can grow and evolve into the women that we're meant to be?
That's beautiful. I love that. And you make a really good point. Like so many of us, we numb ourselves. So we're really not connecting with that. We're really not grounding our nervous system. We're doom scrolling, or like you said, we're drinking happy hour, whatever it is, but we're not really like connecting at our core like we need to be. And I think, in a world where there's so many great coaches out there, so many amazing business coaches, but if you're missing the piece of nervous system regulation, you can have the most beautiful business in the world. You can have the most beautiful mission statement in the world. But if you aren't incorporating that into the building of your business, I believe you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot in the long run. Like, I just don't think you can have true, like, long term successful business if your nervous system doesn't know how to regulate, how to be at peace, even when hardships come into the business, even when times feel tough, you still need to be able to access that part of yourself and go within and ground yourself and just really know what that flow state feels like for you. So many business owners, I feel, are missing that piece, which is why I think people like yourself and myself are so important. because I've worked around so many female entrepreneurs that like still are hustling their asses off. And it's like, but be careful because your business can't sustain with that energy long term. I don't believe it can. And that's where this work is just so powerful, I feel.
Yes, Stephanie, preach it.
Yeah.
I can relate so much to what you shared because here's the thing. To piggyback off of what you shared, I actually admire so much the woman that can do all the things. Like we know
Totally.
stuff done,
Yeah.
right? The thing is every single thing that we do has intention when we're
Mhm.
behind closed doors, when we're everything in this life.
Yes.
And it's actually nuts when you don't realize that you are running this pattern. If it's standing in the kitchen at 10 p.m., hunched over, eating at night, or rushing and eating in your car, like you might have every charge with you. And no, this doesn't mean that this is the translation of like, hi, nervous system regulation is about being perfect. But what it is it's allowing you to, wow, every single thing that I do has intention. Holy,
Yeah.
that's energy that I'm putting out there,
Yes.
calling in all of my beautiful soulmate clients and the people that I want to serve and that I'm ready to serve. So if I'm doing all of these things, maybe unconsciously, which there are women that work with me, and I'm sure that they work with you, they don't realize that they're aware. And that's what's so powerful about all of us connecting is that we can help each other say, okay, I realize that my nervous system has been running this pattern. And instead of trying to get it to stop, which is what most people do with the substances and all these things to try and block that, we're now to face that and we're going to allow it to be seen, to be heard, to be unconditionally loved so that we can expand and so that we can keep going.
That's what I'm hearing you say is we do tend to like push it away and not face those things, but instead you're saying welcome it, invite it in, feel it, sit with it, which I think as a therapist, I tend to see the opposite. People want to push emotions away. They want to avoid facing those feelings, but we actually need to practice the art or the act of receiving instead. And I think when it comes to like that feminine energy, in general, women do struggle to receive. And that's been something for like the past year and a half that I've been trying to actively do better at is just receiving in all the forms. And it's funny when you start to like welcome that energy into your life, how it like transforms you in a way. And there's just like it's like attracts like, and I understand that, but it's like as I was starting it, then there's just more and more opportunities to receive, whether it be money or compliments or I don't know, just like across the board. It was just like more and more receiving. And now I feel like I just welcome that energy in, but that is so not the norm. Like people just naturally like deflect and push away and avoid and all the things. And I just think, oh, as a society, if we can just practice, specifically women, if we can just practice receiving more and being open to the act of receiving, like it can be life changing. It sounds like it's such a simple, minor thing, but it's those little things that actually end up being huge for us personally, but for your relationships and your business and all the things, you know?
Mm,
It's
yeah,
wild.
me want to piggyback off of that. And I absolutely have the chills when you shared that. And because when I think about receiving too, when you're in the burnout phase, when you're in the hustle phase, and even if you're not even in that phase, you're just busy, right? Just whatever it is, like there are going to be times where we all go through that where we're realizing, okay, am I fully present right now? But when
Mhm.
you're not, and when your nervous system is sped up, when you're doing all these things and it's just continual compound, notice your behavior. You start to look down. You're starting
Mm,
to look down more like looking down at the things like what can I do right now that's more, and it's like you think about looking down as if you're looking for things to stack, and we don't
mm,
realize more and more we're looking down because we're almost searching for answers and rather instead looking forward and looking up. And so these are the practices that I like to do and that I like to teach my clients that what are you doing during the times when of course, when you're cooking and doing things, it's fine, you're looking down, but if you're always searching or always like, what is it that your nervous system is looking for versus hold on a minute. And I think most people think right here is, oh, well, if I slow down, if I'm in stillness, I got to stop and do meditation. I don't have time for that. And that's actually the exact opposite of what we're meant to do because the more that we continue to speed up and look down, we're actually adding more to our schedule and to our nervous system and to the the distress and the compound effect of what's actually going on internally. And it's kind of scary because we don't actually realize what it's doing beyond us. And
Yeah.
it's so beautiful when you can start to really realize, and even just these simple practices of when I walk outside and when I talk to someone, and can I look them in the eyes? Can I look forward? Can I and expect the miracles so I can just come back to the present moment and not feel like I have to search for everything.
Interesting. That's such a simple shift that you could make, but it sounds like it can have such a big transformation from just making that little shift in your eye movement. Like, that's so wild to me.
Because you mentioned receiving. So, me, how I translate that is okay, if I feel like I've been having a hard time receiving and I'm constantly looking down and
Right.
what are you trying to constantly get? And it
Mm,
doesn't have to translate that way. But for me, in my past, it was all, like the survival that you're trying to,
yes.
what are you trying to get? So, you're always trying to be in control. And so,
Hmm.
getting into that receptive mode, like if your home is finally clean, and you did your cleaning hour, whatever it is, you're looking around and, "Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much," as if you didn't clean that place, but it's cleaned for you. And you're getting into the present moment of what can I even receive when I walk outside? Wow, there's birds and there's trees that I didn't notice because I've always been looking down. So letting yourself just receive in every single thing that you do.
I love that. Yeah. And I always, with both my therapy clients and my coaching clients, I always bring back like going all the way back to our caveman days. Our brains specifically were not designed to do what women in our current society are doing. We were designed to maintain the home, to be overlooking the children, or, you know, whatever that looks like for you. Even if you don't have children, then you are maintaining the home. And now our society is filled with women that are trying to maintain the home, trying to raise children, trying to run a business. I mean, I don't remember who recently told me that, like, currently we have the most, like, female entrepreneurs are almost surpassing male entrepreneurs right now, if they haven't already. And it's like, so we have women that are running businesses, some multiple businesses, and raising kids and taking care of the home, that our brains were not necessarily formed to do all of that. And so it's no wonder women specifically are so disconnected. Their nervous system was not formed to do all these things. So it's just interesting to me, like looking historically at how our brains were formed to now, like we have had such a role shift in our society, women have. And I think that's important to notice or to note.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
What a great topic to expand on because we can be the business women. And I think that
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting and powerful that you share that because yes, it does. It brings back the divine feminine. It brings back the true art of who we are. And that's
Right.
why it's really a superpower when we can continuously just tap into this as best as we can, right? Like
Hmm.
allowing ourselves to we can still be on every single client call. I saw your life for today. Same thing with me. We've got full stack days, but
Yeah.
it's instead of looking at it like we essentially literally can say, "Holy cow, this is amazing.
Yep.
Look at the lineup that I have. How
Yep.
can I be present as much as possible in every single moment?" And even imagining, I love to imagine myself even in the beginning of the day, moving and dancing between client sessions or
Yes.
stopping and literally smelling the flowers, like, that is okay. That should be a non-negotiable, and I think that it actually kinda ties in with you don't have to be so serious in the business, and of course, business can be serious, and you can be the entrepreneur and the businesswoman that is the go-getter, but it doesn't have to be in that, like, forced way. It gets to be fun. It gets to be
I
safe.
agree.
It gets to be joyous.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah. And I feel like I finally found that place, and watching even like some of my recent coaching clients find that it's like, oh, this is why I do what I do. Like when you can finally say, like, I was genuinely looking forward to getting out of bed this morning because I built a business that I actually want to show up for. And that kind of energy is just unmatched. It's just, yeah, this is why I do what I do. Yeah, I think that's a really important piece. Can you I would love to hear like what got you interested in this work? What's your background? What got you here today?
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing too, Stephanie. So really for me, I shared with you, I got a job at 16. I've always been clocking in. I did two sports in college. I was the one who was getting off the bus from a track meet after a national track meet and getting off the bus at 3 a.m. and then going to work at 5 a.m. So I've always had that engraved in me of just being that workhorse.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for every single moment of it. Right. And, fast forward, I ran different businesses. I moved across the country a couple times. And, through my process of different career changes and things that I've done, I actually spent a handful of years working with seven-figure business owners. And while I was running my own business as well. And, through that process, Stephanie, I noticed that these women and all the people that I was doing, whether it was in life insurance or high level capacity entrepreneurs, fitness industry, or you name it, the nightlife, I've done a lot of different avenues that very passionate in the career industry. And through that, Stephanie, I noticed that I was part of it too. So we were driven. We had so much going on. And there was these women that I was working with too, just seeing, wow, they're so successful and they're so powerful and they've got all these things, but there was something that was off and they were dysregulated. There was things that they were doing that just did not align with what they were doing, yet they were successful on the outside. And I was living it too. I had a couple different years where I was reaching for things outside of myself. I had substance abuse. I had panic attacks. I had a near death experience in
Hmm.
2021 that really opened up so much of me. And of course, I'm not here to say, hey, you have to have a near death experience in order to be all right. This is what we're supposed to live by. But through that, Stephanie, it was that moment that I really allowed myself to look into the mirror. It was 2022, which to me feels like 20 years ago.
Really? Yeah.
That moment where I went and I looked in the mirror and I said, I can't keep going like this.
Mm-mm.
Not keep going like this. And I grabbed a sticky note and I had wrote down on the sticky note, stop feeling sorry for yourself and start educating yourself. And I went all in on my own nervous system regulation. I became obsessed, literally obsessed. It was the most deeper form of not only self study, but of course, I grew my relationship with God
Yeah.
immensely through this process. My
Yeah.
spirit grew immensely. Of course, it was not easy. To this day, of course, nothing is ever easy. But those years, Stephanie, of just continual pursuit in my certifications and self study and being behind closed doors. I mean, I had a whole year where quite literally I felt like I went almost full monk mode of like I quit TV during that year too. So I haven't watched
Good for you.
years.
Good
And
for you.
I just decided that what are these things that I was consuming that was really clouding me through that process of just continual healing. I mean, I developed the spirit led way and I realized, oh my gosh, this isn't just nervous system regulation. This is a way of operating. Of course, if someone was to look at my story and the deeper versions, they'd say, oh, okay, well, is that going to take me 10 years? Is this going to take me so much time? No, which is why we do what we do. We have we have our recipes for our clients to say, hey, look, this is what I've done. I've invested well over 50 grand in this opportunity in this year. I've done all of these experiences so that you don't have to walk the same path. And
Yes.
that's exactly why I wake up ripping out of bed every single day because even my past self, I connect with that so much because it's not about just trying to be the best versions of ourselves. You're connecting to that past part of you that was in some pain internally that could not see the other side. That you say, oh my gosh, there are so many women out there that are experiencing this too. And they are meant to walk and live in the freedom that they're meant to live in. And that's the truth behind the spirit led way is to make this the new way of operation, to make this an obsession, no matter if you change your business 10 more times, right? We are not our business. We are not in control. And so letting that go and saying, okay, what would I actually be doing if I wasn't holding my business? I would be starting a completely new business, doing the exact same
Mm-hmm.
thing, right? Like same thing of really allowing ourselves to come back to that place from being the divine feminine, from walking into alignment and for really allowing ourselves to co-create with the God of our own understanding, because my past version and who I was completely disassociated, disconnected to, even though I wanted that, I was completely capped. My skin was it's crazy. I couldn't even go to a grocery store because my skin was so bad from all the foods and the things that I was eating. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's essentially led me to where I am today.
That's amazing. What a powerful story. And I too have had a near death experience, and it cracks you open. It did. It brought me closer to God and spirit and made me more of a spiritual person than I've ever been. So I can really relate to you in that way. I think what's hard for so many people is that we get so stuck in like our comfort zones that the idea of incorporating this like new normal, because it's so foreign, there's like a level of fear with that. Like the concept of nervous system regulation sounds great. The concept of, stopping whatever the numbing activity is, whatever that looks like for you, it probably would be so great for me. But also, our subconscious likes those comfort zones. It likes to keep us where we're at. And so, how do you support clients with embracing this new normal, with embracing this new comfort zone and letting go of that? I mean, it's almost like an identity shift that they have to be open to. What does that look like for you and the work that you do with your clients? Okay, real talk for a second. How many of you have a drawer full of supplements that you know you should be taking? Half the time you forget, or you're just exhausted by the whole routine. Like, you've got the magnesium, the adaptogens, the gut health stuff, the metabolism support, and every morning it's this full production just to choke down a handful of pills. And then you're left wondering, is this even working? Is my body even absorbing any of this? Yeah, I've been there too. And that's exactly why I'm obsessed with the patch method. Here's the deal. The patch method was created by Lindsay Burwell, an absolute powerhouse entrepreneur who got fed up with pill fatigue. Her husband couldn't swallow pills without a struggle. Her kids turned supplement time into a negotiation battle, and she was over the chalky aftertaste, the forgetting, and honestly, the overwhelm of it all. So she asked herself, why are we still doing it this way? And from that frustration, she created something genuinely genius. Transdermal patches that deliver targeted support directly through your skin. No pills, no water, no forgetting. You literally stick it on and go live your life. And here's what I love about it. The patch method isn't just convenient, it's effective. These patches are science-backed, clinically designed, and made without synthetic fillers or junk ingredients. They're clean, they're high absorption, and they work behind the scenes while you're out there crushing your goals. Whether you're looking for metabolism support, detox, energy, sleep, whatever your body needs, they've got a patch for it. And the best part, not adding another complicated step to your routine. You're actually simplifying it. I'm someone who's all about holistic wellness, but I'm also realistic. I don't want wellness to feel like a full-time job. I want it to be effortless and actually fit into my life. And that's exactly what the patch method does. It's biohacking made sexy. It's optimization without the overwhelm. It's the solution I didn't know I needed until I found it. And now I can't imagine my routine without it. So, if you're tired of the pill grind, if you want something that actually works without all the extra effort, or if you're just ready to level up your wellness game in a way that feels modern and aligned, you need to check out the Patch Method. Head to thepatchmethod.com, that's thepatchmethod.com, and use code NEXTLEVEL ## for 10% off your order. Trust me, once you try it, you're going to wonder why you didn't make the switch sooner.
Wow, absolutely. I love that you brought this up because this is absolutely nervous system regulation. We all know.
Yeah.
All of us that
Yeah,
we know it's an identity shift every day.
totally.
We're not setting goals every day. We're setting identity shifts.
Yes.
So this is beautiful that you brought that up because, I have two metaphors here. One, I actually learned from a mentor of mine where you want to imagine yourself as if we're all walking forward. We're all on this path. We've all got our back and we're headed in the direction of our journey. And we're here to learn and we're here to grow. And we're like, yes, I'm ready to impact. I'm ready to serve. I'm ready to do this. And you go, and then we all hit those obstacles. We hit those challenges. We hit those things. And you'll see that throughout all of these people, there are some of us there's a lot of us actually that will just turn around, and you can see everyone else that's turning around, they're going back and you can see the sun is still, but they're going back to the comfort zone. So they're not going to move forward into the direction of the expansion, into the direction of the pain, of the challenges, of learning lessons. So they go back to what they were doing. So essentially that's the envision of staying stuck. And oh, why am I not up here? Why am I not impacting the people that I want to? I want to do this,
Yeah.
but I keep going back. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what our nervous systems do. And it's the same thing too, as well as thinking about charging your phone. If
Yeah.
you're so used to charging your phone and it's always going up to 12%, then it goes down to 2, but you're really good at getting it back up to 12%. And you walk
Right.
around your portable charger and you're doing all of that, but you're always searching for that Wi-Fi. You're searching for that connection and that adapter. What I like to share with my clients is that, hey, we're here to do the work day by day, and it gets to be fun. And you
Mhm.
hey, if you're patient and you just make this an embodiment versus thinking, oh, this is a practice that I have to go carve out time for. No, this is an embodiment. You're essentially charging yourself to 100%. And you're not looking for the adapters. You're not looking for the Wi-Fi, because we are the Wi-Fi. We have it within us. So we have the tools in our toolbox all times, at all times. So I teach that in a way of, you don't have to be going in to your normal meditation cushion in order to have the best day. Like, you can go in the bathroom stall at work,
Mhm.
your breath work. You can walk outside in the sunshine and connect. You can do all of these things. So there's everything that we have literally at our fingertips to get to.
Mm. I love that. I
And that's
love
how
that.
continually, because it takes that time to, of course, this, to let our nervous system to expand. And if we're not, then we're not growing.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. And I see that all the time with therapy clients, like just specifically in talk therapy. It's like they'll start incorporating the affirmations or the subliminal. And because we know it takes, anywhere from 30 to 75 days for the subconscious to rewire, I always feel like I am telling them, like, at least get over that hump. Like, give it at least 21 to 30 days to get over that initial hump, where I feel like it's around that time where they then are faced with, do I continue to move forward or do I go back to my comfort zone? Like, this feels weird. I don't know about this. And I see it all the time where I'd say about 50% do end up going back and then coming back to me and being like, yeah, the affirmations didn't really do anything for me. And it's like, well, how long did you stick with it? Because it's not an overnight process. Like, there's a part of your subconscious that does, it's like that security guard at the door. It does want to pull you back into those old norms, those old ways. But did you fight? Did you get over that hump? Did you keep going? Because ultimately, it's like if you can just get past that hump, then that pull to go back, it becomes less and less and less over time, I feel. Or that's been my own experience, I should say. But it seems like so many people want to go back to that. And then they come back to me and are like, oh, it didn't work for me. And it's like, it was working. You just did not give it enough time. And that's why I feel, so now I'm incorporating hypnotherapy into my private practice. And now I feel like, okay, we can make some real change so much more quickly. You can, still do those affirmations, still listen to your subliminals. But in the meantime, let's in session rewire your subconscious so that those things can take effect much more quickly for you. And I just think that's such a powerful vision, though, how you painted that picture of, like, they walk forward and then they go back. And it's like, oh, I see that all the time. That's such a perfect visual, such a great way of explaining that. I feel like I need to use that with clients now to get them to understand, like, this is what's happening. But just keep going forward. Keep, like, you have the tools. They're all at your fingertips. They come back as if, like, I'm handing them something that they don't have within them. And it's like, no, you have the tools. Just keep moving. That's such an empowering way of looking at it, I feel.
This is so good, Stephanie. Yes.
Yeah.
I love what you shared too about really allowing your clients to continue forward. It's that repetition, it's that
Mhm.
consistency. And I think that when people hear repetition and consistency, I was a fitness trainer for years and all of these things, I understand discipline. And I think that's the thing is we are disciplined, but there's such a beautiful connection to the word discipline when you can use the
Mm.
word devotion.
Uh,
Discipline I think most women, that's why there's resistance within doing the things because well, if I just do discipline, I need to be disciplined. I have to do this. And it's even in the verbiage, like you shared, our subconscious. Like
Yeah.
myself all the time saying words, and I'm like, I'll literally write it down and say things not to say anymore. And I'll
Hmm.
clear it out because we catch ourselves saying the thing
Totally.
comes out. And it's powerful of what it actually will do within our subconscious and within our nervous system, within our belief system. I love what you shared too, Stephanie, about the affirmations, because I mean, if we're not saying, okay, if you hear that limiting belief, if you hear the thing, well, you didn't do this, you didn't that. Okay, I understand. But I allow myself to be the embodied leader of my mission. I allow
Mm,
myself to fully be expanded. And you're continually allowing yourself to positively confirm and deny that false belief and then acting on it so that you're actually letting yourself seal the deal. Same thing with affirmations. You're saying the affirmation, but why? What's the why behind the affirmation? I am abundant. I am joyful. I am fully healed and whole and complete. Why? Because I was born this way. It is my birthright. I take such
mm,
care of myself and you're realizing and then you realize and then you act upon it. So it's like this ripple effect,
wow.
almost like the physical form of that affirmation.
Yeah, I love that. And I just think in general, like visualization, before having my son, I would do my daily subliminal with my affirmations, and then I would do a visualization. And it's like the combination of those things to me felt like it was downloading that even deeper into my subconscious. Like when you can just visualize, yeah, what's the why behind my affirmations? And then just really like get a vivid picture of that in your mind. Because I want to show up as a CEO version of myself because she's confident, she owns her worth, she believes in herself, she has such a great following. And then you start to see these visuals forming and, knowing that our mind, knowing how powerful our mind is when you can visualize that, it's like a huge game changer for me. And so I think when you can combine that into your routine, your affirmations or subliminals, or if you're doing like a future you or whatever that is that you're listening to every day, that just like hardwires in. That to me is where my identity shifted. Is like when I could see a vivid picture of that future me in my mind, it's just like things started to manifest so quickly. And that to me, like that's the identity shift that I experienced was just start visualizing every day. Like that's a tool I tell all my therapy clients, all my coaching clients, like just incorporate it like right before you go to bed at night. Just lay there and picture her. What is she doing? I just think that's so powerful. It's like such an easy tool that we all should be incorporating. It's no different than like when you were a child and you would use your imagination. Why are we not using our imagination now as adults? If you knew how powerful that practice is in your life, you would be doing it all the time, all day, every day. Like, why are we not tapping into that tool more often? And you pretty much alluded to that. So I just like had to expand on that a little bit.
Stephanie, I love that you expanded on this. And I'm so obsessed with the work that you do. I really am. I think that
Same with you.
just soaring. And I want to piggyback off of what you shared about the vision because the visualization,
Yeah.
what came through for me today, this morning was this isn't just fantasy. This is legacy. And we're not
Yes.
creating because, sometimes, and I get it, I've been there where, you can totally have been there before where I've done like the 4-hour morning routine. And there will be a time
Hmm.
where it's non-negotiable and you got to do the work, but it doesn't have to be that way. But, sometimes people will say, well, I don't need to do that every day because I find myself stuck in the fantasy or stuck in the dream world. Well, what we're realizing more and more is that we're building a legacy. So even just envisioning if I'm constantly projecting my energy on all of the negative beliefs, on thinking of the things that aren't going to work out, thinking what I don't have, what did I not do at the end of the day, all of this, of course, we might as well project our energy positively forward,
Hmm.
still not dismissing those, but allowing ourselves to, just like what you shared, be in that visualization. I don't care if I seem like a dreamer and a fan thing in the fantasy world. To me, how I see it, Stephanie, is there's so much humility in that because you imagine yourself, even with people that are let's say they're living in poverty or they're stuck somewhere or whatever it might be, and they're in that place. But imagine like even a homeless person, if they had that opportunity and that growth, the visualization, they see this and they're just joyous and they choose joy every day and they choose,
Mhm.
they're going to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
Something's
Yeah.
going to happen. And so I love that you shared that because that all ties in with the subconscious, ties in with our nervous system,
Mhm.
the past, and actually projecting forward. And I think that that's the most, that and the identity shift has been the most profound thing that I'm continually discovering in this life, that God, our creator, has shown us that this is literally everything falls away, everything is fleeting. So
Mhm.
there's no reason for us to even hold on to any of it.
Mhm.
By allowing ourselves to understand that more and more, you let go and say, okay, well, I just know to keep walking forward. And so I
Yeah.
might as well dream forward.
Yes, preach to that. I totally agree. And you said it perfectly. Like every day you're faced with, do I want to focus on worst case scenario? Do I want to focus on the what ifs, the scaries? Like you can, but then if you know how powerful your thoughts are and what that's attracting into your life, why? Like, why risk that? When I'm not saying, and you said this too, like we're not alluding to toxic positivity. Like you still need to feel your emotions throughout the day and you need to acknowledge them and let them in and sit with them. And then when you've sat with them, let them go. But I'm just saying, don't set up camp and all of the emotions that come through in the day. Just acknowledge them, welcome in, and then move on with your day. And then go back to what's the best that could happen? What if best case scenario happened to me today? Like do those future visualizations, think those best case scenario thoughts. It's like because as a society, we are so hardwired to look at the negative and look down and focus on worst case scenario to try this new way of thinking on. It's so foreign. It's so, some people would say delulu, but I don't know. It gets to be really fun after a while. Like when you now program yourself, like this is my new normal, it gets to be really freaking fun. And it's just contagious. Like I talk to everybody about it. If they're willing to listen, I'm like, this is like what I do. This is how I think now. And I don't know any different now because it's just become my new normal. And that's what I feel like our clients or people that come to work with us, that's what gets to be a reality for them as well. Is because this is our reality now. We naturally want to give that gift to everybody else. Like you get to experience this and it gets to be so freaking fun. And I can't wait to share this with you and bring them on for the ride. And it's just so powerful. And then life just becomes fun. Like, yeah, there's still stress, but because we're not setting up camp there, it's not our baseline anymore. You feel it for however long you feel you need to sit with it, and then you move on with your day. And then by the end of the day, you're looking back and you're like, wow, I actually had a really great day today. And past me would have been a victim to my circumstances and would have been like, woe is me. And again, like there's moments where you're allowed to feel that, but it's just, we're not going to live there. We're not going to make that our new home, so to speak. So thank you for speaking to that because I now like that's my new normal now. And it's almost like when I try to think back to that past version of me, I have such a hard time imagining her because this has just been my normal for so long now that I'm like, oh, I can't believe I used to think any different. So it's a fun when you finally make that transformation, it just makes life a little bit more fun, a little bit more carefree. It's like that inner child is back and she's just loving this life that you've created for yourself and loving this version of you that you've become. It's a beautiful transformation, a beautiful process.
You said that so good, Stephanie.
Yeah, yeah.
So powerful because I really think and can resonate with what you shared about reality. This is no longer a fantasy. This is our reality. And also by us doing this, I think most people too, well, what about this? And what about this event and this client? And what about what's going on in the news? And what about that
Mm,
family's thing? And here's the thing is we're actually doing all of them a disservice by not fully being present, by not being regulated, because we must stand firm. And just like what you shared, it's contagious. So the more that people say, well, hey, Stephanie and Mary, they seem like they're delusional, but I want what they have.
mhm.
They're on. So what is that? And as we do that, then we change them. And then it's a ripple effect and allowing
Yeah.
to bring that out into the world so that we can make this a better place. And I think that people focus so much on the fear, and the fear can overtake. But it's
Yeah.
all just coming back to your nervous system every day. That the practices that we have our clients do, it's not just a rewiring, it's remembering and remembering and remembering and remembering that time is an illusion, fear is an illusion,
Yeah.
all these things that we just do not need to be grasping on any longer so we can actually show up with the presence of.
Yeah. Yep. I love that. And I'm glad you brought up fear because I can't remember who told it was a recent podcast I think I was listening to. It's like fear is contagious, but so is being delulu. So which one do you want to catch? Like if you had the choice, which one do you want to catch? Because I would rather be around somebody who's fully contagious with this delusional mindset versus potentially sitting and watching the news with somebody and then walking away with this fear mentality for the rest of my day. Like, I don't want that energy. And so you do actually have that choice every day. You get to choose which one do you want. If you have to catch one of them, which would you choose? And I mean, I tell clients this all the time. It's like, it's really just that easy. And I say easy because it really gets to be that easy. I'm not saying the process initially was easy. It took a lot of being persistent, daily, consistent actions. But now that this is my new norm, to me, it really can be easy. It's your mindset again, how you're looking at the process of growth and healing. If that journey, if it carries the story that this is going to be difficult and this is going to be hard, your brain is going to resist. It's not going to want to embrace the journey. But if it carries the story that this is fun. I get to do this. I get to meet with Mary today. I get to do a mindset shift with Stephanie, whatever that is, then your brain's going to want to show up for that. And it's going to be, you're just going to enjoy it more. If the healing journey is fun, I think it's going to happen more quickly for you. And the healing journey, there's never you're never going to really hit a finish line, but it's just, you enjoy it more along the way. And I think that's what's really important is you should want to do these things. It should feel like fun to you. So I just want to bring that up.
That is so good. I love this because I think that it's yet again, it comes back to time. It comes back to people just thinking they don't have time. And it's really, healing is an ever evolving, always expanding thing we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. It's sexy, it's hard, it's
Yeah.
challenging, but it's also just the way of living. Like we are continual healing and evolving beings. We're meant to expand. We're
Yeah.
meant to expand. And I love this because without the expansion, we cannot grow. And so what can the challenges that we're facing internally, how can we really look at that as well? This is a beautiful opportunity for me to allow myself to, okay, I realize that I've been go, 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 stack, stack, stack between client session, between sales calls, between event, between rushing out the door to the next thing. And instead, what if I trained myself every time I do that for 5 minutes? I give myself 5 minutes of a cushion. You just start small, 5 minutes of a cushion between each thing where I step outside for a moment and I breathe and I'm present. And
Yeah.
watch how much you'll change if you do that for just a week and giving yourself that opportunity. Okay, well, if I can do that, I can do this. And then
Mhm.
more will open up. And that's why people don't realize that there's a lot that's being blocked within inside of them, that there's misaligned clients and there's misaligned relationships and things that are happening. Why is this happening to me? Why, all of these things. And it's not because there's anything wrong with us, but sometimes we tend to sit with our emotion. I love how you talk about acting fast because that's exactly why we do nervous system regulation and why we do what we
Yeah.
do, because we're here to make those quicker decisions.
Yeah.
We really are. We're really here to allow ourselves to, okay, there are going to be times and places where you take a day and you go to Sedona and you do
Right.
whatever it might be, right? Or you're with your kids and whatever is happening, but you're giving yourself that space to, I breathe in, I breathe out. Okay, I'm back. What's the next thing? And because it's the practice, just what you said, it's that compound effect of, wow, I'm a warrior. And then if
Yeah.
every version of us brings new layers of new challenges, but if we can build this up, allowing ourselves to create that resilience and create that consistency within our nervous system, imagine what we can accomplish and what we can do.
I agree. Yeah. Very well said. I love that. So, Mary, if somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, this is the kind of coach I need to be working with. They recognize that they're not functioning from a regulated state. They're recognizing that they're craving that though. Are you open to receiving new clients? Do you have availability? And what would be the best way for somebody to start working with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely have room and space for more clients. I am
Yay.
so excited to call in as many women as I can. Right now,
Yay.
you can book a nervous system clarity call with me. So this is
Awesome.
going to be a 30-minute session where we're actually going to, it's going to be a little bit of a sneak peek of that time audit where we're really going to learn more about where your nervous system has been feeling capped, where you're spending the most energy, and how we can actually find clarity on where you're feeling dysregulated. So we can actually hear, okay, is this going to be something that's going to feel very aligned for us working one on one together? But yes, absolutely. You can connect with me on my Instagram. It's maryhope_fit. You can also book that nervous system regulation clarity call with me for at spiritledreset.com/clarity. And yeah, I also have my email as well, which is maryhopefitness.com.
And how long of a container is that if they work with you? How long are they working with you for?
Yeah, so all of my clients start off at 6 months. At 6 months, we reassess, but 6 months is a beautiful start because
Yeah.
that three phrase framework. We start with the foundation and then we'll move into the build and then we move into expansion. And I do have a lot of clients that will continue on with me, but this is just such a beautiful path of the way that we start you off with that clarity, cleansing, time audit, and then moving into the expansion phase.
Oh, I love that. 6 months is perfect. I was going to say I was hoping it was more than 3 months because yeah, 6 months sounds perfect. And then they have the option to continue on with you, which is so great. Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, you guys, I'll put all that information in the show notes. But if you felt like today's episode was just really calling to, then I really encourage you to reach out to Mary. Like she said, she does have openings. And I just think now more than ever, this is the time that you invest in your future self. This is the time that like give this gift to yourself, especially if you are an entrepreneur and you just feel like you're constantly going. You're, going from wearing your mom hat to wearing your entrepreneur hat to wearing, all the different hats. But when are you truly stopping and pouring into you? And if you're being honest with yourself, are you pouring into yourself? Are you functioning from a state of flow or are you just constantly hustling? If that's the case, if you're being honest with yourself and you're answering that and you're saying like, no, I'm pretty much constantly hustling, going from one thing to the next, it's, it might be working for your business right now, but I'd be willing to bet that that's only going to last. It's only going to be temporary. I don't believe that we can sustain functioning at that state, energetic state and emotional state. I don't believe we can function long term like that. And so really be honest with yourself. Really take today's episode and just sit with yourself and have an honest process what you heard today and have an honest conversation with yourself about where am I functioning? What state am I functioning from? What is my energy level like most days? And do I want that to shift? Am I ready for that shift? And your answer to that question could be reaching out to Mary. So take that into consideration. Just be honest with yourself. No judgment. Honestly, as I'm listening to Mary today, I'm literally like, there's a version of me that probably needs to work with her at some point in time. So I'm not saying that I'm this perfect, superhuman either. There's definitely growth that I need to experience in this department. So I'm just sharing that to be completely transparent with you all and to say, like, we all need this work. I don't think there's any entrepreneur out there that can say, like, no, I'm perfect. And that's why people like Mary exist, right? So, Mary, thank you so much for agreeing to this today and just sharing your zone of genius with my listeners. The energy that you brought to this, it was just such a peaceful and easy conversation. And I really appreciate you making the time for this.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I'm so grateful to know you and so grateful to connect with you and support you in every single thing that you do. And just so happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Well, as always, thank you for tuning in. And if you aren't subscribed to my weekly newsletter and you want more in depth information, I do spotlights with my speakers on there. And so I'll get more information for you that way. So be sure to hit subscribe. That link is in the show notes as well. And if you haven't rated and reviewed the podcast, I always appreciate that so we can get it out to more listeners. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys all next week.
Real quick before you go, I just want to thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. And congratulations on showing up for you. Every step you take to invest in yourself brings you that much closer to your next level self, and I'm so proud of you. If you loved this episode, share it with someone who could use a little inspiration, or take a screenshot and tag me on socials so we can keep spreading the next level you energy. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Let's freaking go!